and in the other I have a vacuum. And if I open the tap between these two, you will see spontaneously the bromine rush from one to the other. Now that is the simplest change we can have, perhaps, because all that happens is a change in entropy. In this case, the expansion into a vacuum, nothing else is involved. There's no energy change, there's no temperature change, there's no change except entropy. So without the entropy...
Yo, Fluffs, what's up? It's good to see you guys tonight. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad you could make it. We're going to have an interesting one. We do have PJ Cruikshank and Matthew Eastman in. How are you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, Peach?
Oh, good. You sound. I actually thought you were Ryan then doing the Cookie Monster.
But he usually does
a good show.
Hey. But it's good to see you guys. Hope you're all doing well. Like we said before the pre-show, love your new logo, Matthew.
Oh yeah, man! It's the Globe Model Dumpster Fire.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, guys, tonight we have Jeran. He went on Alex Stein's prime time and did a flat Earth debate.
I can't believe that's Alex Stein in that corner of that in that thumbnail. Like what? I mean, it's only been about a year since I've seen him. He's put on a little bit of weight, as far as I see.
He's picked up a lot of weight.
That's Alex Stein in the right-hand corner, definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He's picked up different. A lot of weight.
He looks so different. So different. He was a good-looking guy. and now he's a good-looking guy.
He's been eating well.
He's been eating well.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, life's good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, his channel's also grown to over 200,000 subscribers now, so.
Oh, well.
All good for Alex.
Well, he's a comedian.
The one thing I must say I do like about Alex Stein, he doesn't give a shit what people think about him.
He doesn't.
He says his mind and that's it.
Do you think he's sitting in his boxers there?
Usually, 99% of the time, yes.
He's sitting in his boxers.
But yeah, it's good to see everybody in chat. Good to see you guys. Thank you guys for coming. Please do me a favor, hit the likes, share the show. It's really, really going to help to get the show out to a wide audience, guys. Appreciate you guys. You guys rock. Okay, so are you guys ready for this? I haven't watched it either, so it's going to be interesting to see what is going on.
Yeah, we'll play it by ear, man. I haven't seen it either.
Okay.
But I will be listening intently for the feast of nonsense to begin.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay. I hope it's loud enough.
Ever had? I hear that every single week on the show.
Is that loud enough, you guys?
And that's crazy. I didn't know that until this show happened. So,
well, Jeran, do you think you can convince Joe VT? Because he's on boats. What about this? You ever seen a boat when it disappears? It always disappears from the bottom up, right?
Correct.
But if you get a camera with a long lens on it, you can actually zoom back in and see the boat again, which doesn't make sense because theoretically, if it was behind a curve, behind water, you would just be able to see water when you zoomed in. Did you know that?
I don't know. This statement's usually a catch-22, guys. I think you guys would agree because you do get times when the angle's too limited and they zoom in and they see water.
Yeah, it can go to a distance to where it's unresolvable.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I say I wish the people on the flat Earth side would learn this because they love just bringing this up, saying you can zoom it back over the beloved curve. So therefore, it's not a curve. But then they can show you the picture saying, but look, yeah, we've zoomed it in as much as we can. And you see the water. Yeah. But then you should know, okay, hello, it's just angles are limited. You've reached your limitation, diffraction limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could be zooming in something that's already kind of like zoomed in. You know what I mean? It's
foreshortening.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the one issue I do have from a lot of flat earthers, though, because there's a few arguments that they go through like that. You can just zoom in boats over a curve, which is first of all, no, you can't because there is no curve to zoom them over back. If they are resolvable again, it hasn't passed that limitation. That angle hasn't passed that limited angle, and the diffraction limit hasn't you haven't reached the diffraction limit. But then you can get to it where it shows the bottom of water, but that's because of foreshortening, because the angle is too acute and the diffraction limit has occurred. So that's why you see the bottom of the water obscuring boats or whatever. It's just the diffraction limit.
Of course. Can I just shout out to PJ Cruikshank, member for 16 months? Got a free
Wow.
run with this.
Shout out to there we go.
You're shameless, PJ.
I thought I would do it because I knew he was going to laugh when I did that.
But yeah, shout out to PJ, man. Thank you for being a member for 16 months. I can't believe it's so much, so long already.
I know.
Well, I got to shout out to all the members.
She says, I wouldn't shout, Matt. So then the next
shouted himself out. I wouldn't have shouted him out.
well, the next one I pay for, you just don't shout me out.
But yeah, I appreciate you, man, being a member for 16 months. That's
cool, bro.
You're like furniture now.
I am.
But appreciate you, man. Appreciate all you members. You guys rock.
Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, where was I?
Oh yeah.
I was saying about the curve. Another argument. I don't know if you guys feel the same about this like me. When it comes to them talking about the horizon rising relative to eye level, they leave the relative part out and just say it rises to eye level.
Can I shout out Michael Stein, member for 16 months? I trump PJ.
Thank you, Michael Khan, as well. Also part of the furniture, been here from the beginning. Really appreciate it, guys. And by the way, Michael brought out an awesome video today. I did send it on community post. Do go and watch it. It's on the Mandela effect, and it is great. Really awesome stuff, Michael. Huge shout out, man.
It is true. Michael does trump me. He's got 2 weeks on me, I think. So he trumps me by 2 weeks or something, 2-3 weeks.
I agree with your sentiment, though, Flatzoid. We should always be striving to get our arguments more concise and specific. That way there's no easy way out.
Yeah, because they always have a way to strawman us if we don't say the correct words. Because we are dealing with dishonest guys. So that's what I said. When we say, okay, it rises relative to eye level, then they can't say, but you see, look, it's below on a theodolite app or something. You know what I mean? Or where they take the water levels and they say, see, it's below, but literally ignoring parallax. I mean, I've shown this demonstration. Literally, it's just parallax because he's put his camera lower than the water level, and that's why it's done what it's done. If they put it level to the water level, it would show the horizon level to it. If he raised his camera higher than the water level, it would show the horizon higher. So it's just stupid. So yeah, that's what I think. We have to just be a bit more pedantic on the way we say things, because globers they do catch on any small straw they can catch, and then they love to misrepresent us. If you say, "Oh, the horizon rises to eye level," they say, "But look, it's lower than what my theodolite app's saying, or it's lower than this water level." In the meantime, if you said it rises relative to eye level, that means the water's still physically low, guys. It's just an optical appearance that it rises to us. That's why you always see the horizon no matter the altitude, because it's relative to eye level.
I think it's well said. Yeah, well said.
Do you guys have any other arguments you think that flat earthers should maybe work on?
Yeah, realize that the sun, moon, and stars rise in the east and set in the west no matter where you are.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
True.
Definitely. Do you guys think I should put an invite link for anybody who wants to come in?
Yeah, if anybody wants to come in, why not? Why not?
Open
there
the
you
door.
Guys go.
Don't worry,
you guys want to come in? There's the link, you guys, if you want to come in. Yeah.
With the exception of Polaris. See, I did it. I didn't put the exception in there.
But yeah, it is that, because they don't want to actually say always east to west.
I think there's things that we should stop saying, like some people when they used to claim that the sun's 3,000 miles away. It's quite possible, but we don't know for sure. So I definitely think there's things we shouldn't say, should stop saying, or some of us, because we don't all say it,
Yeah, the
and
height
they love.
of any of these objects, celestial objects, that's silly to claim that you could do trigonometry and know the height.
Exactly. You don't know the distance of the star, exactly.
They're giving it a physical distance as a physical object, and they're claiming things that, like, begging the question first. They love bringing hemispheres and things to these arguments. Why are you giving the globe as a hemisphere to give the argument? You know what I mean?
That's right.
You don't have to say, I see it in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. Just say the northern skies, the southern skies. It doesn't matter. The stars are always moving east to west, just like the sun and moon, always moving east to west. That's all.
Yeah. Atmosphere. All right. That's another one. And then what's one? Gas having weight. For some reason, a lot of flat earthers seem to think gas has weight.
Yeah. I agree
And
with
you
Michael
know
Kahn.
what?
Michael Kahn says, yes, the Mandela effect, which, I agree with that. A lot of flat earthers should acknowledge it a bit more, because I think they're just denying it because they don't like it.
I think we should actually have a stream on this actual topic, guys, where we
I think we should have one once a
discuss
week.
the flat earth arguments and see how we can try and explain it to make it more concise and strawman proof.
Yeah.
I think that would be great. Because I think a lot of arguments, a lot of the flat earthers don't get yet because they're new to the subject. And I think it will just benefit them as well, as much as the whole community, if we can get the arguments more concise and get it out there that's not really strawmanable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think a weekly show Mandela effect would be good, though. Definitely.
Exactly. Okay, gonna get on with the video.
Oh yeah, but I'm fishing the Gulf of Mexico, and a lot of these rigs, you can start seeing rigs from 16 miles away.
That's what I'm saying. So that proves if you can see it from 60 miles away, doesn't
But
that?
you can only see like the top half because of the curvature.
Yeah, I don't know. Look at this, Jeran. He's already says you can see stuff from too far away, and now he's like, oh, there's this imaginary curve all of a sudden.
But I have to say, Alex, just like PJ said, your cheeks are getting plumpy, man.
Ooh,
You might
definitely.
need to think of going a bit on the easy on the the sitting and eating. Maybe look at doing a bit of healthy stuff, because he's getting plumpy. That's for sure.
He's definitely over for his size. He's definitely a bit over, or gone a bit over it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because
When
I saw this, I was like,
He
what?
was a good-looking guy. Now he's a good-looking bigger guy.
I mean, when I saw him, I haven't seen Alex Stein in a while, and now I'm seeing him on. Yeah, I'm like, dude, you've picked up a lot of weight.
No, I didn't realize it was him. And then I said, if that's him, he's put on weight. I had to ask you in Ellement if it is actually. Well, I kind of said if that's him in the right-hand corner, wow, he's put on a, But it's only one. It was most looked like Alex Stein, and obviously he was in the title, so I thought he had to be there somewhere. I mean, even a year ago, I think maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it wasn't even that. A few months ago, he didn't look.
Yeah.
A couple of months back, I remembered he was promoting a boxing match he was supposed to be in. He was supposed to be training for like a celebrity match or something. So I guess he stopped training. I don't know.
Maybe he got too hungry and he decided he wanted pizza and burgers all the time. I don't know.
I don't know if he's ready for a 4-round fight. I don't know.
We can get him. We can convince him.
We're gonna convince Jovi T.
One thing I have to say very positive about Alex, guys, he says his mind straight.
Oh yeah.
One thing I like about him, he's a very positive guy. He says his mind. He's not scared what people think of him.
Right.
And that's what I like about him.
And he
dumb enough. I want the
drinks
Tennessee,
and he
not
dips
Princeton.
a little bit. Yeah, he was a football coach. So he probably has CTE, so we can probably convince him.
I don't have CTE. I didn't play. I'm too fat and white to play football at Tennessee.
Your brother's white. He's not fat.
He didn't play either.
You probably have CTE for
Wow.
I probably
You
have
ever
CTE.
fallen on a boat? You ever hit the water really hard jumping in?
Imagine
I-
having a whole production team for your YouTube channel. It's quite hectic.
I do get knocked in the head every once in a
Yeah,
while.
you have CTE. All right, good. Proven. Your brother has CTE and Jimmy has autism. All right. So is the Space Force ready?
Space
All right,
Force.
now get
Choose
Joe VT
Force.
off my screen. We welcome on the Lieutenant Commander of
Blunt.
Space Force, Matt Lohmeyer, with his globes that we're going to smash.
Oh.
Matt, welcome to the show. How are you doing, Mr. Space Force?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Looks like you're ready to go. All right, fellas, this is how it's
Does he
going to
think
start.
he
We're
looks
going to
cool
each
with that, though?
This is a troll. It's a show.
That's a Thunderbird's
Matthew
hat, isn't it?
Lemire.
That's a Thunderbird's hat, isn't it? I'm sure it is. FAB.
You see, that's the issue I have sometimes with some of these debates, because then I have people like this coming on, and you don't know, can you take them seriously? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look,
So far,
like
no.
he's intentionally coming on looking like a clown, smoking a cigar, got his glasses on at night, in a dark room with his. I mean, really, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what Brian says. Alex can be a clown, but at least he doesn't deny the Mandela effect. That's true. That's true.
Uh-huh.
Each of you is going to have 3 to 5 minutes to make a little opening statement of why your argument is correct. Obviously, Matt, you believe that we live on the spinning globe. Jeran, you believe that we live on the flat earth. So we're going to let you guys go first. Does either person want to go first? Maybe Jeran, you should go first, because I guess yours is the more insane side, I guess, technically. Yours is, you know what I mean. You know why. All right, so we'll have Jeran. He's going to start off with 3 to 5 minutes, and you're going to have 3 to 5 minutes, Matt. And then after that, we're going to go for about 20 minutes, just kind of a conversation. And then
It's
last
already,
5 to minutes, we're going to let the
it's
audience.
put up as a belief, like one belief versus another belief. I wish Jeran had more than belief.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you see, this is the issue I have with a lot of these type of shows, especially where Jeran's always I don't know. It's always when Jeran's there. This is how they push flat Earth, almost like it's insane. You know what I mean? Like it's over the top. Have you guys realized that?
Yeah, of course.
It's just odd. It's almost like, you know what they call it, subliminal messaging.
Mm.
Now, I mean, you've got Globers watching this show, and straight away, you haven't even started the debate yet, and Alex is saying almost like the flat Earth's over the top. It's insane. What do you think is happening in that Glober's brain right now? Oh, yeah, tick mark already. Yeah, it's proven flat Earth is just insane. It's keeping with my belief system that we have to be bigots against the flat Earth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they've already made up their minds now. You haven't even started the debate, but because he's painting the flat Earth as some extremist belief system, they're going to have a bias of it the whole debate now. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. I'm not saying that's his intention. I'm just saying that's something I've picked up every time Jeran is at a debate somewhere. Somehow, it always gets painted in a way of light that flat earthers are just some weird, over-the-top, believing, fanatical weirdos.
I thought that one.
Well,
And a lot of time, he doesn't even have to say it. Someone else can say it for him.
oh. Yes, he was just saying she used to think that once about flat earthers. That we were all weirdos. Including me.
But
She's
it's-
thinking,
Yeah.
You're still a weirdo.
I'm still a weirdo, but she believes
Well, it is a visceral reaction. Like people generally, like just normal people, they will think you're crazy if
Of
you and they'll resist it, and some will even get angry with you. I mean,
That's right.
I got my own brother, man. My own brother, he thinks it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like to
isn't
the
it
point to where he'll resist, like he'll want to resist physically, even.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, let's say if I was Jeran there on the show and Alex said this, I would actually combat back and say, no, I don't believe we're the most insane belief here. I'll say we're the more logical, consistent reality pushers. That's all I'll say, because then you're combating his statement. But he just says, oh yeah, and accepts it. You understand? That's my issue I got here.
to ask some questions. How does that sound, fellas?
We'll read
Sounds good to
$20 super chat questions.
Oh yeah, and if you want to ask a question, it has to be a $20 super chat, and we're going
Really?
to read those, and we'll ask Matt or Jeran what their answer is. Okay.
Yeah, guys, if you want to ask a question, it has to be a $20 super chat, not on my show.
Wow.
Life is good.
Life is good, guys.
Mm.
Something tells me it's all about the money.
Mm.
Okay, I understand he's got a big following, and you can't answer all the super chats because, I mean, he's got like 200K subscribers, and they have quite a lot of people watching at a time. So imagine you had to answer all the questions and a person sending $1 here or $5 there. I think they will make it $20 then, so it just cuts it down a bit. So that I understand if you look at it that way.
Mm.
So it's actually a win-win situation for him, though.
Hey, starting with Jeran, are you ready? I can see you got your OBS already set up.
I think I'm ready. Yes.
Okay, maybe turn up his mic a little bit. Sound, Chris, engineer. I feel like Jeran's mic's a little low always because he has that nice setup. But
Nice try, Globers.
yes.
All right.
Look at all those globes. Matt's ready. Look at all that globe live. All right, now Jeran, the clock starts. It's at ready. Your time starts now.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, flat Earth is not for everyone because some people like being lied to. They like being told what's true. They like being told how to act.
That is true.
And those who actually look into this topic will reach the obvious conclusion that we've been lied to. We were all taught to hate flat Earth. It's taught to you so that you stay away from this subject. Well, despite that ridicule and hate, the slander you might receive, many of us just don't care. And these are the people who think for themselves. Those who don't follow directions, these are the type of people that were not rewarded in school. No.
I have to say, I agree with these opening statements at the moment. Guys, see anything wrong with that?
So far, so good.
I mean, you don't even have to debate. You can just show what an elevation angle is.
Exactly. There's not much to debate if you just bring natural law and how the globe is derived. Then the guy's got nothing to debate.
That's it.
Exactly.
Charlie Wells says Alex wants to be Alex Jones so bad. So Michael Kahn says, is that why he's getting so chubby?
Yeah.
I like it.
No, only those easily indoctrinated were promoted and advanced until they got their astrophysics degree without ever going to space. They just simply memorized some textbooks and, in my opinion, became well-versed in the lie. Now, my opponent tonight is a former Space Force captain. He's never been to space. He played space on a computer console, I guess. Same.
Yeah. I still want to know. He was a former commander, as you said, or captain on the Space Force, but never been to space. How the hell does that work?
Well. I think it just means he's forcing space onto people, maybe.
I mean, it's like saying you got a captain of a soccer team and the guy never plays soccer.
Exactly.
Maybe it means it doesn't mean necessarily outer space, just linked width and depth.
Maybe it just means spatial awareness, spatial awareness.
Maybe it's taking up space. In his office.
Maybe it's just the infinite vacuum that the taxpayers required to support. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he needed money for that cigar and those globes and everything,
Same with the other 16,000 Space Force enlisted servicemen. They've never been to space. They're not going to space. But space is just a pretend magical place where Earth can fly 1.2 million miles per hour. And as we speak, through a vacuum. But we all know that Earth is stationary. We feel it every day. Now, to reach the truth of the flat Earth can be easy or it can be hard. You can either approach it with an open mind and the truth becomes apparent, or you can approach it thinking you already know the answer, in which case you're going to easily fall for the tricks and then walk away. Still believing in what men tell you. These great scientists have convinced you and others that they can actually polish up some mirrors and place them in a tube and magically see back in time, and everybody believes them.
Yeah, that's exactly what they teach us. Guys, can we see back in time with, for instance, the James Webb telescope?
No, and microscopes do not look into the future either.
Exactly. Yeah, first of all, times is how can we put this, guys? A man-made concept. There is no such thing as time. Literally, man made time as a concept to have reference on a timeline, so we know how to organize things. There's no such thing as physical time. You can't look back into time. You can't look forward into time. The only thing we got now is now. That's already passing. It's a concept. And you cannot have a telescope in a place that violates natural law. Also note, for them to have that telescope where they claim to, even on their globe model, natural violating reality bullshit, they first required a flat plane to make the orbital mechanics possible, to get it to where it's supposed to go. Yeah, based on flat Earth, guys.
The same guys who say that there is no God and that nothing exploded and created everything and we're from an amoeba, they can even date rocks. So if they lie to you about things that we can touch and verify, to believe that they tell you the truth about a place you'll never go, even the Space Force commander, captain will never go, is ludicrous. My opponent may ask tonight, why the lie? And I'll tell you, well, number one thing is I can't really tell you because I don't know the motive. I'm not the one lying to you. But I can give you an idea, and that would be three things: control, to hide God, and money. So the control, obviously,
Okay, it's all good to make speculation on why they would lie. But also, like we said before we started the show with Lou, not everybody's lying. If you believe something's true, it doesn't make it a lie.
Exactly. Then, I mean, having a look, he was going about like 1 million people lying being a lot of people. Yes, it is, but compared to 6-7 billion, it's not a lot of people. You know?
Exactly. It's insane. Boop that like button, guys. It really does help to get the show out to a wider audience. It's good to see you all that came. Thank you for coming.
The country that's ever felt tyranny, the citizens have moved away. They've gone away. They've gone somewhere else to where they could start a new place. Well, when they put the globe into play, now there's nowhere else to go. So what a brilliant trick to keep us all thinking there is nowhere else to discover. And to hide God, science, as we've been taught, Big Bang, evolution, neutron stars, is an attempt to destroy the idea of a creator. When we look around, things are obviously had a designer, and science wants you to believe that they're the smartest in the land so that they can keep the other. All right.
You know what this reminds you of what he just said, though? You know, when you gang and all this and evolution, why do they believe that, though?
As far as I can tell, it seems like they're trying to save face. They don't want to look foolish in the eyes of the world. So they'll plug in what's readily acceptable by the masses to their worldview so that they seem more, I don't know, plausible to these people.
Scott Gogg says orbital mechanics are not based on flat Earth, hence the name orbital mechanics. But you would need a flat Earth for the calculations and measurements for orbital mechanics in the first place. It stems from flat Earth, I would say.
Exactly. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And so when we press play here,
about 3 minutes. You still got 2 minutes.
Yes.
So your question, like, what happens when the Christian, right? He's got the Bible, which he's supposed to hold in authority, but then he has other authorities in his life, like the textbooks that he's had since he was educated. Maybe that's why they got two authorities and they just can't square the circle in their own minds.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If you read in Genesis how God specifically gives a historical narrative on how he created the earth, it goes against heliocentrism, but you still get the globe believing Christians that say, yes, I believe what the Bible says, but I'm going to take what the scientists, quote unquote, which isn't scientists, today, because they said something, therefore it's plausible. What is their argument? No, the people that wrote the Bible weren't clever enough those days. They were all flat earthers because that's what they knew at the time. But then
watch out for-
they're literally throwing the word away of the Bible and saying, how can we trust what the word's saying? Because stupid people wrote it then.
Yeah, I would have. That would be my problem. If I didn't believe the accounts, like if I didn't believe what Moses wrote was trustworthy, why would I believe anything else? Like
exactly. Because let's for instance take in Genesis where they say God created light and there was the first ending. The sun only came in the fourth day. Now, according to the heliocentric model, the sun is what gives the light, and you need the sun to be first before the globe was even a thing, before Earth was even formed.
Yeah, that's right.
How do you get that correct in your mind if you're a Christian and a globe believer, if the Bible says totally different, contradicts what the heliocentric model says?
Exactly.
I mean, it's different if you don't really, you haven't been open to understand the inconsistencies with it. I mean, like I've said, I've been a Christian most of my life and I believed in the globe. But now, once you get shown, okay, well, hang on. God's word doesn't actually, fit with the heliocentric model at all. It's a total contradiction. Which one am I going to choose? Am I going to choose the inspired word of God? Or am I going to choose pseudoscientists that claim to do science that actually violate natural law? And I think that's where people have to step back and think, wow, am I going to be honest with myself or not?
Sure. The last one is going to be the money. So why the money, or where's the money come from? Let me tell you this. The movie industry across the world, that includes box office, Hollywood, home box office, DVDs, Blu-rays, you name it. The total on that's 90 billion per year. The music industry, CDs, downloads, Spotify, you name it, iTunes, streaming, Pandora, 27 billion a year. And the video game industry is 217 billion a year. That includes console, Xbox,
not even
PlayStation,
close
PC,
to NASA.
apps, you name it.
That's not even close to NASA.
So these are three pretty big industries, right? So combined, they come up to 334 billion. So what do you think space industry is at? Well, must be less than that, right? I mean, no. The answer is it's at 546 billion. That's over $200 billion more than the combination of movies, music, and the video game industry. That's big bucks.
And this is what we get a lot when you say to the Globies, a lot of money. And say, yeah, but it's only like 90 cents of taxpayers' money a day. Like, really? What the hell? Just because your tax money is little, as you say, goes to a place that doesn't exist, is now making it all right. Come on. This is what they call money laundering, actually. When people steal your money on false pretense. I mean, that's practically what the space agencies are doing, guys. They're stealing money because you cannot go to a place that violates natural law. And they've made it that you have to pay tax for it, which makes it legal for them to steal your money. That's how sick it is. It's really idiotic. I'm glad I don't need to pay tax for Space Force there. I at least live in a dumb society here. Did you guys see the latest news in Australia?
No.
With the schools limiting what children are allowed to take for their lunch to school. Ham and cheese sandwiches are out, banned from schools.
Wow, that's ridiculous. I'm trying to keep my noises to a minimum because somebody says PJ's random sling blade noises alone make the show. In my information, whatever sling blurb means, that's my real sickness. It's because when I agree with you, I make noises like do you know what I mean? That kind of thing, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, I see he's dropped. Guys, I'm sticking the link again for StreamYard if you guys want to come in. I know Soft might want to come in, or Brian. It'd be great to see you guys. Yeah, but it's it's insane. The amount of money these guys make. It's insane. I mean, even we're starting to pay tax now for a because they want to actually open I think it's in the Karoo where they want to open a launch pad now for rockets and things.
Okay.
For what? All the way in the Karoo, in the middle of nowhere.
Just burn some more money, innit?
Yep. But think about it. Now we've got to start paying tax for that. But the tax we already pay doesn't even go for what we're paying tax for.
It's just ridiculous, a whole lot of it.
It's ridiculous.
The whole system's messed up.
Everything is falling apart here in this country, and they just want us to pay more tax. And the tax we're already paying doesn't go for what it's supposed to be going for.
It's a bit like entropy, isn't it? From what I hear.
A year.
I know, it's true.
100,000 a year to be an ex-prime minister.
I know, that's mental. We're paying someone to be an ex-prime minister 100 grand a year. Wow.
One of them only did like 60 days.
That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, Vicky takes more note of politics than I do.
And they're not letting it go anywhere. And as to the question of the shape of the earth, oh, and by the way, you could add the MLB, NFL, and NBA, and you'd still be way low. That's only going to add another about 40 billion. So think of how big the space industry is. So I'm not surprised that a captain of the Space Force would come here and debate that, because they got to keep this lie going. Now, they're not letting it go anywhere. All right. As to the question of the shape of the earth, one thing my opponent this evening may ask me to do, and over again, it's always asked by these Globers, is how something works on the flat earth. They think that that has something to do with the debate. Falsification is independent of replacement. Let me give you an example.
I see this a lot here.
Yeah, Scott, of course you can join. That's why the things are.
Yeah,
that's why
of course. Gonna stick it in again. Any of you guys can join. You're more than happy to, mates. Appreciate everybody. Yeah, please hit the likes, share the show. Really appreciate you guys.
I think he's coming in to tell us about orbital mechanics.
Oh, he can come and should bring us about orbital mechanics. He must just know it's not going to become a debate.
No, of course not.
But guys, please hit the likes, share the show. Really appreciate you all. But what do I want to say now? Man, I wanted to say something based on what Jeran just said. Can't remember.
No, sorry, my bad.
Example. If I'm running through my parents' drawers and I find an adoption certificate, dated my date of birth, signed by my parents and doctor, and it claims I was adopted on that day, well, that's pretty good evidence that I was adopted, right? So if I tell you, hey, look, I'm adopted, my whole life has been a lie, my sister's not my sister, my parents aren't.
Oh, now I clicked the wrong thing. Hey, Scott, how you doing, man?
Hello.
How you doing, man?
Can you guys hear me?
Can you hear you?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, cool. I didn't think I was actually going to do it. Yeah, no problem. It's actually really cool to talk to you guys. I've followed you for a really long time, and it's cool to actually talk to you.
Yeah. I'm glad you could make it in.
Sure.
Is there anything specific you want to say, or?
Well, I don't want to disrupt your show. I can wait till after, or whatever you want. You're the boss.
Because they said you might want to come in and say something about orbital mechanics or something.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about whatever. I think I'm pretty well versed in the globe fallacies, as you so call.
Well, we can probably spare 10 minutes if you want to.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm just kind of so first I kind of want to start from the beginning. So you say natural law a lot. What is that? Like what do you mean by that?
Like nature has a tendency for something to happen. You got no control of it. Just like entropy, it's a natural law. Or when things fall down, you'd agree that's just a natural law. Things tend to fall down. Just like hot goes to cold, high pressure to low pressure.
Sure.
That's just how things work in reality. That's called natural law because it's a natural tendency.
All right. So then how does like going into space violate that?
It violates the second law of thermodynamics, the law of entropy. Because if the Earth was an open system adjacent to the space vacuum, the air we breathe would all fill that space, and we would not be able to live to be able to send anybody there.
All right. Okay. I just wanted to figure out what you meant by that, because I was a little confused about that. So you say orbital mechanics are based on a flat plane. Can you go like a little bit more in depth about that?
Well, your whole radius value is based on a horizontal equatorial plane, and then they've taken that off and transposed it with latitudes and longitudes to give your orbital mechanics, because your circumference and everything is based off of that flat plane reference.
Okay, so then where do like the equations come from? How do you think they were derived? Because the equations are there, like, and you can do calculations with them, and do science with them. Like I've done that. I'm an engineering major, so I've done that stuff. So like, how
Science.
yeah.
Can you be a bit more specific there?
Well,
What do you
like
mean
you
with
can.
science?
I mean, you can calculate the height of a geostationary orbit given a few parameters, and you can use an equation such as like Newton's law of gravity.
Yeah, but you see, there's already an issue there, because you're now using Newton's law, which says it's a force. You can't use it as a force because gravity isn't a force. So that's already a contradiction, because Einstein has superseded, so gravity is not seen as a force.
Okay.
And
so I'm glad you brought
secondly,
that up.
yeah, and secondly, because you've said now you're doing science and all, that's not science, because science is specifically cause and effect relationship. And yes, you can calculate things with equations in Narnia, but that doesn't make Narnia true, or the things you're sending to Narnia true.
Okay, so you say force or gravity is not a force, but it's what's called an apparent force. It acts like a force, and it appears like a force. Like
a pseudo force.
Exactly. So like you can, like, because I took physics 1, right? And we treated gravity as a force because that's Newtonian physics, right? And you can do calculations based on the fact that gravity is a force, and you can get accurate results. Like right now, in my hand I have a spring scale, and actually, let me see if I can turn my camera on.
While you're doing that, I just want to. Hey, it's good to see you, Scott. I just want to say, just because you can calculate something as a force doesn't make it a force. And I think you'd agree with me, to have a pseudo force present, you first need an actual force there. Just like you have on a merry-go-round, you have an actual force spinning the merry-go-round. For that fictitious force, which is giving you the centripetal force, it cannot exist without that actual force spinning the merry-go-round. You agree with that?
Oh, wow, bro! I thought you were an older dude. I thought you were an older dude like me.
Yeah, you sound like in your 20s.
Wow,
no.
I know it does sound like he was in his 20s, but I thought he was. I thought he was like in his 40s, like me.
No.
Wow.
I'm young.
Surprised. Bless, man.
I'm a freshman in college.
I got you.
That's good to see you, yeah, man.
We've got Mario.
I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah,
This
we
is
can
a
see,
spring scale. So if I don't have a weight, I don't know. I guess I can use this. I have a 3D printer, and this is like a spool of filament.
Awesome.
I can hook this on,
and you can weigh it, yeah?
You can see. I can weigh it. So I can figure. So you guys are familiar with F equals ma, right? Force equals mass times acceleration. That's
Newton's
just
first
an
law.
equation. That's an equation that you can use.
Yeah.
Is there any like debate about what the validity of that? I mean,
No, I agree. You require force for mass to accelerate.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Let's say I have a scale. I don't know the weight of this, but let's say it weighs some odd kilograms or pounds or whatever. I can take the mass and I can multiply that by 9.8 meters per second squared, the gravitational acceleration of Earth, which
average,
you might call it
which
something
is an
different,
average.
but everything, yeah, an average, it's different anywhere on Earth. And then I can get out a reading on this, which is a force. So hence gravity with any
No,
mass.
but you see, there's your issue though.
Maybe
You're
acts like a force.
correlating that now to gravity as a force. Where
Well, I'm saying it
specifically
acts like a
gravity is
force.
not a force.
hmm
You understand?
But it
Because
acts like a force. So what's the difference between the weight on this and me pulling my finger down? Because right, I'm applying a force on
you're
this.
giving an actual force. Gravity is not a force, or gravity is not the constituent part of giving that measurement.
No, I agree. It's not a force,
You
but
would
for all
agree?
intents and purposes, you can treat it like a force.
Do you know
You
what
can
an
say
unbalanced force is?
an unbalanced force. Enlighten me.
Let's say you have a bowling ball and it's sitting on an incline.
Oh, okay.
And you just got something holding it and you pull that stub away and the ball starts rolling on itself. That's an unbalanced force because the mass is unbalanced. So it's going to move in that particular, that's an unbalanced force. Okay?
Sure, yeah, I remember doing those types of problems all the time.
Yeah.
Physics.
So we can say that gravity wasn't the cause of that bowling ball falling. It was just because the force of that object sitting where it was has an unbalanced force. So it moved.
But an
So
unbalanced
the
force
force
due to what?
due to
Due
the
to gravity.
unbalanced nature of the ball. Remember that block that was supporting it was taken away because the object itself is supported against that block because it has weight, as you put it. It has mass. But there's nothing else to support it. So as soon as you've taken that support away, where can it go? It can only go to where it's unbalanced.
Okay, because it wants to go to the, like you said, it wants to find, it wants to be level. It wants to seek equilibrium. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you see,
All right.
that still shows that it's not gravity, though. Because
But
gravity is not a force, and that just showed that it doesn't require a force to pull it down. It's simply the object itself with its impulse causing it to move.
Well, what if there was a force? What if I had this wheel on a ramp and if it was on a ramp and it was rolling down, but let's say it's on a flat plane and I'm pulling it, wouldn't that
Yeah,
wouldn't
you're
that be like
importing a
a
force
similar
onto
thing?
it. Yeah, you're imparting a force. But you see,
So
my
then what's the
problem is
difference with this?
you're imparting the force as the result of gravity. And gravity is not a force. So you can't impart gravity as the force to give that moving. It's just a correlation-based assessment.
So do you think just like gravity just I know you think that gravity doesn't exist, but then but I think you just I'm just confused because gravity acts like a force, right? That is do you agree with that? Gravity acts like a
No.
force.
What is gravity? I think the best question is, what is gravity first?
Okay, so I believe gravity is the attraction between two masses. You think relative, what was it? Relative
Relative density disequilibrium.
Right. Which you say that because this is denser than the air, it falls.
Yeah, because the air can't support it. Because it has an unbalanced force.
But it can't support it. But going back to what you said, it can't support it because something else is acting upon it. Gravity. Right?
No. Remember, gravity can't act upon it because gravity is not a force. You first need gravity to be a force to be able to act, because a force requires a push or a pull. And gravity can't give a push or a pull because it is a pseudo force, you understand? A pseudo force is secondary. A pseudo force has to first come after a physical force. So in other words, just like even Einstein, the space-time warping around an object, that's what causes the mass to seem to accelerate towards the larger mass, because the space around it has undeformed, that has an unbalanced force. That's a pseudo force. You see, so we have simply, with the relative density disequilibrium, have taken what you guys see in fourth dimension, which is only mathematical, and said, but hey, this is reality. We live in 3 dimensions, and it shows that unbalanced force of the object. Where can it go if it's unbalanced? seeks equilibrium.
Okay. So So do you have like a paper or some thing about RDD that I could read? Like, because I'm interested in reading.
I doubt it.
Well,
No.
was it you that made it, or was it like someone else made?
No, it's like a conglomerate of everything we've come up to explain it in nature. And I mean, that's why I said, even when you saw my orange experiment, you saw that, where I removed the mass and the orange experiment I did.
I haven't seen that, no.
Okay, well, anyway, what I did was, based on gravity as a force, if we're looking at Newtonian now, what would happen if you have more mass on an object?
The gravitational force would increase.
Will be increasing, so it'll pull it down. Now, with the orange,
well,
I removed
it wouldn't go down
mass.
faster.
Yeah, but I removed the mass. I removed the mass, and it went down. It didn't go up.
Well,
now,
yeah, because it still has mass.
Yeah, but you remove the mass, so it has less attractive force, correct?
It has less attractive force, yes, but it goes down the same speed. Now, with air resistance, that's not true.
No, because remember, this is in water. So the buoyant force is supposed to be able to force it up more because it has less force.
Well, yeah, because you're in water, so of course it's not going to go down the same speed.
And
like,
it went down. It didn't go up, it went down. So when I had more mass, it was floating. And when I removed the mass, it sunk.
So you removed mass. So you had mass, orange, and it was floating, and then you removed mass and it sank.
Yeah.
Do you have like a? Where's that video?
It's on my channel.
Okay, I could probably find it.
Yeah.
Like the orange video.
And I want to give you the rebuttal that the Globe is like giving for that. They say the reason we have that is because you've changed the volume, which is true.
Okay.
But once you've changed volume, then you're arguing, yes, we changed the density ratio. That's why it's displacement. So it's not gravity then. It's simply validating then relative density equilibrium because it's based on the displacement of the masses, not the force pulling it down or pushing it up.
Okay. Well, I won't give you a rebuttal because I've never seen the video, so I can't really make any.
But you know what, Scott? I would really love to have this conversation with you sometime. Would you mind us actually having an actual stream on this sometime?
Hell yeah.
And we actually chat about it?
That would be cool.
I'm so for that.
Because I think you're a nice guy, though. And I mean, I think we can have an awesome conversation.
You did seem
I
like
think you're a nice guy too.
And like props for coming on as well. You said you're going to, and you did. I actually thought you were being sarcastic when you said, "Let me just grab a mic." I thought you were being sarcastic. That's why I didn't say it because I wasn't.
And I lost it, and I had to find it. I had no clue where it was.
Yeah. No, props, man. Props. You said it and you did it. Bless you, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll continue watching the stream, but I'd love to have our own stream, and I'll write down some arguments, and we'll have a discussion.
No, anytime, man. Yeah, just you got my email address, then we can work out a nice time. Flatzoid@gmail.com.
Write that down. It just
Flatzoid?
gmail.com.
Yeah. Then you can just email me and we can work out a time.
Awesome.
Appreciate you coming on.
I'll see you guys later. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
You too, man. Cheers. Hey, Adam. Hey, Mauricio. How you guys doing?
Hey, guys.
Maurizio Carocchio, huh? Yeah, or Lotion Basket, Uncle Bing Bong, one of those.
Oh,
it's all the
same.
same. It's
How
all
you doing,
the
Lotion?
same. Good, man.
How
Life
you
is
doing,
good.
man? Good to see you, man.
Gotta keep changing names because you can't tell the truth without getting striked upon and then banned.
That's it.
But it's good to see you still around, man, and okay. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, everything's good. Changed my ways definitely, but currently making a giant 11 by 17 coffee table book of high definition pictures of all the BS that I've seen in the sky.
Yeah. Oh, so what do you guys have to say about the conversation we just had about?
Yeah, fair
with
play
Scott,
to
before we carry on with
ask
the debate.
I was just going to ask the physics student, when you're in the depths of outer space and there's no atmosphere, no oxygen, no nothing, what do you push off of to move your aircraft?
Yeah.
But
how do you
know? But don't you know when you throw spanners out of something, it moves you forward?
Right.
Yeah.
They're totally ignoring free expansion of gas. So as soon as into an available space, it's literally using that energy that it had to propel you. So it's just literally using that energy to fill the space, so it can't push you. But that's the thing they don't get. That's why they can't show a rocket pushing off in a vacuum. Every time they try and demonstrate it, it either first is no longer a vacuum because the gas is already expanded into the vacuum, or it hits the container walls.
That's it.
Because, yeah, there's no demonstration in history of having a rocket working in a vacuum while it's a vacuum.
But other than that, I just want to say hey to everybody and hope everybody's
But it's
doing
good to
awesome.
see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you. Adam, you wanted to say something?
It's a shame Scott's gone. Is he a physics student?
Yeah. I think he's a freshman.
Yeah, the point I found interesting of what he said was that he said he believed that mass attracts mass, which for a physics student would mean he would be in disagreement with his professors. 107 years out of date with his professors.
He's majoring in electrical engineering.
To define a Newtonian viewpoint would be incorrect by modern standards, wouldn't it? So I just found it interesting that's what he said was his viewpoint, that mass attracts mass, something that's not been claimed for a long time.
Yeah, but that's why I said it'll be interesting to have him to come and have a conversation sometime, so we can actually get more into it, because I think it can be an interesting conversation. Because this is the sad thing, that the people are still getting taught, though. They're getting taught that you can use Newtonian physics as the get-go just because the equations work, but that doesn't make Newtonian physics true.
See, those Newton meters that they get given in physics labs, and this is the point, he's got a spring and he's putting a weight onto the spring and it stretches the spring. And just because he puts a scale with ends on it, right, because he's in a physics lab, doesn't make it any different to the upside down scale you used to weigh a fish, where you put kilograms
exactly
or pounds.
The same.
Yeah, it's just a scale, mate. It doesn't just because you change the units doesn't invoke gravity in any way. It's just an upside down balance.
Exactly. But yeah, I think we'll go on now to the debate we were watching with Jeran. We're probably going to have to do a part 2 and part 3 of this because we haven't even got through Jeran's opening yet. And then we can get on to definitely having this conversation with Scott sometime. It'll be awesome to have him on again. Have you watched this debate, Adam?
I just caught the end and I was just listening to it, and then you kind of sidetracked, so I'm just getting into it. Is this guy real?
He was a captain from the actual Space Force. This Matthew Lomia.
Okay, and that's how he's presenting himself.
That's exactly our point in the beginning. We're like, how can you take this guy seriously if he presents himself this way? But we said, you know what the irony is? He's a captain of a space force, but never been to space. It's like having to be a captain of a soccer team and you never play soccer.
Well, that would be because, like,
captain of a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I mean, I just don't know how we can take this person seriously if he looks that way.
The Thunderbirds guy.
Well, that's Virgil, isn't it?
Yeah, Virgil. Yeah, I wasn't sure which one it was, but yeah, I knew it was Thunderbirds. That's why if they beat Ellen, it's definitely Thunderbirds.
But yeah, I've had nothing really, but other than wow, and you claim to be part of the military.
Okay, guys, ready to go on?
One more question. Do you think Space Force may be a little woke? That's all I'm going
to I wouldn't pass it. You can't be discriminating against even AI bots coming into the Space Force, dude.
God, don't even get me started on them.
For all you know, this guy's going to end up making a pink uniform.
Sure.
I just say this: I'm done playing Clown World. I'm done with the carnival show. I'm done with all the charades, you know. And I want to tell the other guy that's in this chat that I have an uncle that was super high up in the U.S. Navy, and I started showing him some video that I documented over the skies here, and this guy doesn't even talk to me anymore. Not allowed to talk to me.
Yeah, but some of the stuff you have shown is kind of hectic for the normal people.
It definitely is. I've shown. I had a conversation with. Oh, this is actually crazy. I met a medium recently, and never met this person before, but they asked me about my pictures. And when they asked me about the things that I was taking pictures about, like they knew some of the things I was taking pictures of. And I was a non-believer of mediums or people that could read your shit going on, right? Well, when this person started bringing up some other things, I'm like, yo, I'm either going out of my mind or this person is just on that level. You know what I'm saying?
It's either hot reading, cold reading, or demonic. Simple. That's my explanation for it. Hot reading, cold reading, or demonic.
You guys ready to go on?
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Let's do this.
And I'd say, I don't know. And you would say, well, then until you tell me who your real parents are, then I'm not going to believe that those aren't your parents. That's ridiculous, right? And then if I said, well, I don't know. Well, who's your real sister then? Well, I don't know who my real sister is, bro. I just found out I was lied to. So the same thing is true with the globe. I cannot be required to know everything about the flat earth simply because I pointed out that you believe in a lie. So that's basically it. Should be a fun little debate. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, space is made in a Hollywood basement. That's for sure.
Red Hot Chili Peppers said that. Yeah, that's your 5 minutes, Jeran. Great.
Thank you. Done.
That was pretty thorough, but now Matt, he talked a lot about
Red Hot Chili Peppers, yeah. Okay, so what did he bring up actually? What did he actually bring up? Oh, stop cam. There we go. So what did he actually bring up in his opening? They steal money, they lie. I think this is why they lie.
Hate God.
And that's about it, correct?
Yeah.
Where I think I would have taken a different approach. I'm not saying anything wrong with what he said. I actually agree with a lot that Jeran said, but how I would have actually said this though was, you can't go to space because it violates natural law. Your whole space is based on a flat earth. So therefore, your whole space force is a joke. That's about all you need to say.
Right.
Yeah, Space Force, I don't know about that.
I would ask first, where does the force come from? What force are you referring to?
I'd be asking
money,
what space are you referring to?
power and control. Now we're going to leave it up to Matt. You have 3 minutes, however long you want to pontificate for why the Earth is round.
I'm all about money. I'm all about power.
There we go. And this is why we say we can't take this guy seriously, guys. How do you know that's even genuine what he's really saying?
Is this a picture of the guy that we're looking at right here with the things on his head?
Yeah. Yeah, Thunderbirds and he's not a skull.
I've not met him. But...
So all about the money, all about the power. Okay.
It's a pity he hasn't got the strings with it. It'd be a bit symbolic, isn't it?
I've worn my bona fides so I can point out my space wings, my pilot wings. Colonel, by the way, not captain.
How do you become a colonel and get space wings if you've never been in space?
That's a very good question.
It's like saying I received a Purple Heart and I was never in a war.
Yeah. I was actually got a Purple Heart and I stayed in
I'm
the
no
trenches.
longer a virgin, but I've never done it.
Yeah.
Wow, this is like, what is wrong with these people?
Are you sure you did it, son?
I got married, but I haven't got a wife.
I mean, don't you think something like this shows it might be scripted?
I say
this has got to be satire.
You know what I mean?
If this has got to be satire, right? This guy, he was probably a truck driver for the Space Force or something.
No, he was with FAB, wasn't he? What are they called? Thunderbirds.
I don't want to disparage truck drivers.
Wow. But yeah, let's see what he's going to actually say.
Doesn't really matter.
I'm the captain.
You know, I want to tell you a story, actually. I'm a whistleblower, and so I was fired from Space Force because I was exposing political lies and manipulation. Alex has asked me to come here tonight because he thinks I'm going to debate with you, but I got to tell you a story.
No, this has to be satire, guys.
Yeah, he's telling stories.
He thinks
This
I'm
has
going to
to be
debate with
satire.
you.
His whole demeanor shows he was never in the military, guys.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, I don't think you get fired in the military, right?
No, you go.
Well,
you
get
be
court-martialed.
discharged. Yeah.
You get court-martialed and discharged. You didn't get fired.
Half an
I
hour.
was going to say, did he post his discharge paper?
Yeah. Wow. I don't know. I thought it was going to have a debate. Now we got to watch this and the whole time think it's just a joke. Why is Jeran always involved with this mockery stuff?
This is a question that I've been asking us all along. Why is it that everyone that's involved in this always seems to be bending over barrels, so to speak? It's very frustrating.
Wow.
Somebody said, I saw it live.
He was just in Congress a few months ago.
But
wow.
I don't know if that's about this.
That's interesting, Nathan. But the way he's presenting himself is really fishy, mate. Okay. We'll play games with him.
When I was flying F-15s, we went on a deployment from Okinawa, Japan to Thailand, hit the tanker 4 times, left Thailand after flying some large force exercises and went west and further west and further west until we got to the edge.
Wait. I want to ask something. If you were sworn to secrecy and things and you're saying classified stuff, yeah, how do you say classified stuff on the internet like this? You know what I mean? He's literally digging a hole for himself then. That's why I say I can't take this guy seriously. I mean, there's difference between whistleblowing and just literally making a mockery of everything.
Oh, I didn't know you were
It's really weird. Yeah, it doesn't seem legit. That's what I'm saying. This guy, I don't know.
Flat said about being a whistleblower, and it says I didn't know he was a musician.
Really weird. By the way, guys, thanks everybody for coming. Please hit the like, share the show. Really appreciate everybody here. Good to see you all. And thank you for your support.
Smash the show.
Yeah, smash the show. Hit those likes.
And there was a large mountain range out there. And I mean, it looked like something out of Game of Thrones, giant ice wall. And we got close enough finally, and I wondered what it was because I thought there'd just be more ocean. And there were signs up everywhere. You've reached the end, turn around and don't talk about what you've seen here. We'd come back into our mission debriefs and they'd say, hey, you saw Antarctica. Don't talk about what you've seen. And so I've, until this moment, always kept that under wraps. And apparently pilots have been seeing that all over the world. No matter which direction they fly, they run into a large ice.
See, he's just making a mockery.
Yeah.
Come on.
Full of sheets. Yep.
This is not. This
If he had
is
a
not.
non-disclosure agreement, they'd be shooting him right now. He'd be dead.
And signs and all that everywhere. I mean, this has got to be sire, surely.
This is like insane. This is mockery. Like, no, really. You can even see Alex is like wanting to laugh. What the hell is it up with?
The mountain range,
Look at his
spooky
face.
stuff.
Look at Alex's face.
I don't really know what goes on out in the mountain range, but I'm here to
He's like, what's up with this kook?
blow the lid off the whole thing and tell you I don't care about money or power. I'm telling you that we're surrounded. Icy mountains, flat Earth. Sorry, Alex.
Well, Matt, no, it's funny you say that because General Admiral Byrd, the first person to...
Sorry?
Says he's a flat earther now. I thought he was actually meant to be a glober. And now he's...
That's what I'm saying. No, this is a joke. This is satire, dude.
He's pretending to be a flat earther. And he's got globes all around him, you know what I mean? It's got to be a joke.
Doesn't it make you wonder, is Alex in on the whole deal, or is Alex just a fool in the whole background? Like, you know, like I always wonder that. Like, who's really involved in all that?
They're all in it. They're all in it.
Ryan, how dare you attack the integrity of the man of such caliber as Alex Stein?
So he's the guy that goes into places with that big, fat, half-naked dude that he claims is his wife's boyfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sets up spoof scenarios for people to deal with. I don't know. It's got a lack of integrity, this whole thing, to me. And this guy looks like I say, it's like it's not the 9 o'clock news sketch.
Hey, speaking of Admiral Byrd, I'm not in front of a computer right now, but when did he go and fly out there, or when did he take his boat out there?
It's the post Second World War, isn't it? So it's the 47-ish, isn't it? I think.
What year?
Yeah, allegedly there were 2 missions, one after World War I and one after World War II.
Well,
do we know what year?
Late 40s, like Adam said.
45 and 50 would be between.
I thought it was before that. I thought he flew out there in like the 20s or something. I think he was, because he was on a boat. He was on a boat for a while before they came up with their, having all their aircrafts. If you go back into the World Fair of 1933 in Chicago, he made it there with his boat. And
Interesting.
You can go look at that, because if he was, like, let's say he was on a boat or even flying in the 20s, right, and let's say late 20s, well, if he's doing all that in Antarctica and doing all that down there, how did he get back to Chicago in 1933?
He teleported, mate. He teleported.
Right. My damn it, I forgot. But just the years that he said he was, he was on, because I know for a fact that he was on a boat for a while.
I've got the dates if you want them, Flats.
The second 1933, wasn't it? Second expedition, 1933.
1928 is the first, 1933 the second, 1939 the Antarctic Service expedition, and then 1946 the more famous one, which is Operation High Jump.
High Jump, that's the one I was looking for. That's why I've got the other ones. Right.
But he did make it to the World Fair in Chicago in 1933. He was there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just an interesting fact.
Or Antarctica actually said something similar, that he did see ice walls. So, Jared, I'm just saying, you say ice walls. I know you're being a little sarcastic, but Jared,
Okay.
who's General Admiral Byrd again? What is it? What did he say about Antarctica and all this ice stuff?
Just that he found some other land back there, but I mean, he's also a Freemason, so I don't know if I'd really put too much
He
stock
found
in what he had to
Nazis.
say.
Okay, that's a
Supposed-
good topic. Wait, Jared, that's a good topic. Let's start right there. Now we can go back. That's your opening statement. Even though we're here to talk about the shape of the Earth, it takes people to lie about it. Matt, I'd like to start off by, I guess, asking you a question. I'd like to hear some back and forth. What do you know about Freemasonry? And all of the astronauts that went to the moon were all Freemasons. What do you say about that, Matt?
My grandfather was a Freemason. I'm going to get a little more serious. This isn't the uniform that we wear.
No shit, Sherlock.
No kidding.
No,
You are kidding
really?
me.
Oh wow! No, we didn't figure that out.
So if this was a court of law, and the first thing you demonstrated to the court that you were a liar and a fraud, at what point would the court pay any attention to what you've got to say next?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, yeah.
Wow, it's insane. I'm actually confused to what we're actually watching.
Watched.
It's like to take it serious or not to take it serious. That is the question.
Well, we've started, haven't we? So might as well see what you've got to say. If you start saying anything.
But see, my issue is why is every time we have this kind of mockery, rubbish stuff, always have this guy, Jeran, there.
Yeah.
Why is he always there when this type of stuff gets presented somewhere? Why?
Maybe he's, you know,
Full of crap.
Yeah, I mean, where there's flies, there's crap.
Yeah.
Casimirs, whatever his name is, says this guy is actually pretty reasonable if you watch the whole show. But you could be you could be him.
But look, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. What we've been presented so far is disingenuous, literally makes it look like satire, and makes a person wonder, is he going to be genuine the rest of the show? You don't present yourself as disingenuous and then expect people to believe what you say later. That's not how it works.
Some of Jeran's videos. Jeran, I've watched some of your videos. I think you're sincere. I'm sincere as well. I'm an honest person. You and I have a different worldview. Okay. I think that whatever we get a chance to get into tonight I mean, don't I look like a serious person? Look at me.
Jaren's like to have fun. We can have fun. Jaren's laid back.
Whatever we get into tonight, I mean, we're going to have 15, 20 minutes to talk. I'm happy to show up for 2 hours and have a conversation with you about this. And I want to point out up front, this is a little bit unorthodox. This was advertised as a debate. My globes are almost falling over. I hope that's not a bad omen. Or
see what I'm saying? Anything he's saying, he literally doesn't seem serious.
I know. So he is a
He
global.
throws that extra sarcasm at the end to be like an FU.
Yeah. Really odd.
or symbol. It's this. I think that there's some common ground that you and I have, and you're trying to recenter the Earth as a kind of center place, as a part of a cosmology that provides meaning, that reestablishes a God, human relationship. And I don't disagree with you on that. And I think the materialist.
I disagree with what this guy's saying now. He's saying he's trying to remake everything as a center and for God. No, that's not what's said. What's said is the heliocentric model is specifically designed to take you away from God and make you not this, and make God not the center. You know what I mean?
Right.
Make you just a by chance infinite dust particle in an ever expanding universe. Now he's trying to make it sound like No, the globe is the thing. You are trying to change the narrative here, which is not the truth. The globe is the new boys on the block, not the flat Earth. Flat Earth has been, from the beginning, always been the thing we observe, reality.
Yeah. That Kaz guy says, unlike McClooney, you will see he's not bad for a Globetrotter. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see as we go on.
He said what?
You can call him Kaz.
I did call him Kaz. I didn't know he said that though, but I did call him Kaz. Oh wow, I just said it. And he said it. Wow, yeah.
But we'll go on. Like we said, we'll see what's going to be discussed. Hey, Stein's not wearing boxes, guys. He's actually got a pants on.
Wow, he's got a pair of trousers on. Wow.
It's about time he wasn't pants.
No socks, though. I don't trust a guy with no socks. Just joking.
Yeah, I don't trust anyone.
Or that wears socks with flip flops. Don't wear socks with flip flops. That's weird. You're a weirdo.
Godless scientific community does lie. In fact, they practice a science that's very much religious in nature. And so you and I probably have some commonality on things like Big Bang cosmology, which I will challenge any day of the week, in fact. But there are some other sides. And Alex, if you'll give me just 30 more seconds here to give a serious, thank you, thought. Some of the books I've got these globes stacked on. And by the way, I think you're having an impact on the world, because I went to 3 stores looking for these globes before the show, and they don't sell them anymore. So I think you're influencing.
When is this? Every time I think the guy's starting to get serious, he starts bringing in sarcasm again.
Nah, man. See, there's the FU. There's the FU.
Yep, the slapstick.
Yeah.
I would guess throughout however long this thing is, he's going to have nothing as an actual real rebuttal. What he's got is parody, appeal to similarity.
Look, all you got to do is pay $300 to go skydiving at 20,000 feet and go look for yourself.
Exactly. James Mays, thank you very much for your $20 super chat, mate. Really, really appreciate your support. Good day to you too. And thanks for being here. You rock, man. But like I said, this guy, I don't know. I just can't take him seriously, because every time I think, okay, he's starting to sound serious, then he brings in the sarcasm afterwards. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be serious to you. And this to me, his behavior is literally disingenuous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I had someone try to pull the argument that we all see the Earth as a globe because our eyes are curved.
Yeah, somebody.
I was like, nah, man. Come on.
Wow. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Very interesting. Okay, let's carry on.
The
globe
market.
My work is done.
Mine is all my globe is all written all over, so I didn't bring that globe. Here's my point. I've got Isaac Newton's Principia Mathematica here, written at the end of the 1600s, early 1700s. I actually read this stuff because I'm very interested in cosmology. I'm interested in the science, but it's all incidental to a kind of religious worldview as well. And so I very much appreciate the need to recenter that relationship, and in a very real sense, in a kind of metaphysical, philosophical sense, and in a literal way, the human heart, the earth, is at the center of all things.
So now he's going into philosophy.
I mean, he's got philosophical, mental, emotional, psychological, all of them covered, man.
Appeal to qualification and emotion fallacy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 fallacies.
Did he say he was a military guy, not a psychologist?
Yeah, military.
Maybe he was a psychologist in the military, but I doubt it.
Yeah, but he's talking
the
like
world is very
CIA
bad.
cooperative or something.
Yeah, he's saying the world is very bad, guys.
But it's still round.
But it's still there. Yeah, it's still a globe, but it's just very bad.
Very bad. I agree with you. And seen more than you. I agree. It's really this bad, and you only think it's flat because you want to paint a new paradigm. That's creator centric.
He might as well be saying, I used to be an elf for Santa's workshop, but he abused me. So I'm here to tell you the truth that Santa's real, he's lovable, but he does abuse.
Appreciated at the North Pole.
Jeez, Louise, man.
I don't think this guy believes in Santa. If I don't, the last guy I heard sound this Jewish was Rabbi Dovi Singer, mate. I mean, I don't think he's bothered about Santa.
You lot have ruined it, telling me Father Christmas isn't real.
Wow.
Devastated.
I was just about to say she's devastated. She beat me to it.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Vicky. You see, that's why you guys don't have. That's why you guys don't have. That's why you guys don't have thick chimneys today in England. You have these thin pipes because you know he's.
I mean, why would you want Santa Claus to come down your chimney if he's an if he's an abuser anyway?
Yeah. So someone has to clean the pipes.
If you don't know him, why would you want him down your chimney anyway?
Well, exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to start chimney fire.
The science community can demonstrate, though,
the
heliocentric model. In my view, I don't think that's up for debate, and so
whoa. There's no science in heliocentrism.
There's no science in models. What?
Yeah.
What?
You see, this is the issue. This is the issue I have with these guys. They always want to claim science for the globe, but there is no science for the globe. To have a scientific model, you first have to have science. And if you have no science, you can't have a scientific model. Can anybody tell me what's an hypothesis for globe, please?
Couldn't tell you. There isn't one.
Shadows, man.
There isn't one. That's the answer to that one.
Wow. But this is a big issue I do see lately, especially from the globe side. They want to claim globe model science. There is none. There's no such thing as globe science. There's no such thing as a model for the globe either. Show us this model, please.
To put him with the test. With the test.
I hope she's
we can't see you, Duper. Not at all.
Guys, 75 people watching, but only 42 likes. Come on, hit the likes, guys. Please help get the show out to a wider audience. Really appreciate you all. You rock.
And if you don't like us, at least tell us why.
Yeah, maybe we can make it better for you.
Watch it.
I'm not interested in really debating that much. It's kind of your newer, so to speak, model that is on trial, not the spherical Earth.
Whoa. Newer model is on trial. The flat Earth is also not a model.
So a reverse and a burden of proof fallacy. Trying to be invoked.
But he's reversing a burden after he's made the claim himself. So Jeran didn't even have to make the claim. He made the claim himself and realized there's a problem, so he reversed the burden after his own statement.
And flat Earth isn't the new kid on the block anyway. The globe's the new kid on the block.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Isaac Newton says in his Principia Mathematica, I'm not teaching you anything new under the sun. Everything I'm teaching you about celestial mechanics and about this heliocentric model, which we credit to Copernicus and to Johannes Kepler. He said it was known to the ancient Chaldeans 2,000 years before.
Yeah, which were flat earthers. Yeah, which were flat earthers. And he does know Copernicus and them were just Jesuit Masons, right?
So appeal to history fallacy, even from Isaac Newton. So,
but I mean,
so
it's
far
odd.
we've just had fallacy after fallacy. It's just stacking the fallacies up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Posthumous appeal to history fallacy through Isaac Newton. Actually, that's the correct thing he's just done there.
Yeah. But that's one thing we always going to expect though from the globe side. Fallacies. And I don't know if you've realized this as well, Nathan. Have you ever tried to see if globies actually know what fallacies are?
That depends on the person, I think. But,
I mean, I watched the
usually-
show and I really cringed myself when FTFE did a review on Mindshock's fallacy videos. Literally, FTFE making a fallacy while saying if Mindshock's making a fallacy with him not even knowing what fallacy it is, so he's just calling it a fallacy. Because the Globies don't know what fallacies are. They open their mouth, they already have a fallacy.
This guy thinks a fallacy is proof on the sound of it.
Yeah.
I thought a fallacy was a
Christ. If you read Johannes Kepler, I've got Kepler's works on my desk here, and I love Kepler. And if you go and read these works, by the way, it's not just the quotes that the scientific community will give you. In fact, these people are like Jesus-loving religious zealots of a sort. I mean, they really were driven by...
That's also a fallacy in itself, too. Jesus-loving zealots. Okay. What does it matter if a person's got a belief in something? You know what I mean? He's now appealing to a person's belief system. He's supposed to be presenting evidence for his globe.
Well, when that's all you've got, friend, that's all you can get.
Mm-hmm.
By their view that, hey, God is central, and so let's figure out our cosmological worldview. Kepler said the same thing, is my point. He said, hey, I'm just rediscovering what was known in history. I'm telling you that this heliocentric model that Copernicus and I have kind of been recredited with, that was known to the ancient Egyptians and the ancient Chaldeans.
The Egyptians and the Chaldeans were flat earthers, not heliocentrists. They didn't believe it to be a sphere. They were flat earth civilizations. What's this guy coming on? Does he think the Egyptians and the Chaldeans thought the earth was a globe?
They obviously didn't.
Has he ever looked at their cosmology? Wow.
The modern scientific world won't tell you that stuff, but it's in their writings. I could point out the page number. And so we have some common ground here, even though we've got to
point out the page number. Come on. Point it out. Point out the page number, dude. Why is Jeran not asking him to point out the page number? Hold him to his claim.
I think Jeran's doing a good job, Flats. Yeah.
Keeping quiet. Letting him talk himself in the hole.
Yeah. What is the like I said, this fallacy? All you can do is go fallacy, fallacy, fallacy. Yeah. Well, you can just let him ramble. He's going to run out of air at the moment and make some desperate claims. I'm feeling because nothing's hitting home.
He's already made a few claims that he can't back up. But I mean, don't you think it's time that Jeran maybe just steps in and says, "Okay, then back it up," instead of just let him carry on making more claims?
Well, I don't know. Do you butt in and go, dude, what you on about Egyptians? It was the goddess Nut that overreached the flat plane. That's how the Egyptians described it, and they described it descending below the level of the plane of the earth. Do you really butt in with this, or just let this muppet? Do you just pretend you're taking notes like Jeran? I think
he's sitting there drawing. He's still sitting there drawing titties.
Well, it's probably the best thing to do while this idiot's rambling.
Yeah, it's
he's probably drawing fallacies, not titties.
Or approach to understanding our cosmology.
Well, no,
that is that for a serious note too.
And Jeran, I want to let you rebut that, but that is true, Matt. The Big Bang Theory, how a lot of what they tell us about science, like that, it's a fact. I'm at least you're being intellectually honest. So Jeran, you have to give him that. I respect Matt for that.
Yeah, no.
Now, Jeran, please rebut or say whatever you'd like. I'll give you 2 minutes.
I was just going to ask, did you know about Edwin Hubble? Edwin Hubble's the one that basically brought. Right, which is being refuted, is being torn apart. That's not what's actually going on, because when you have that Doppler shift,
why you bring Edwin Hubble in? It's got nothing to do with what they just presented. So that's it. I don't know. As I said, I would have rather just stick with what the guy was claiming, and my rebuttal will be okay. You made a claim, back it up. And then if you brought up the Egyptians, the Chaldeans, I'll say, okay, let's go look at their cosmology. And it will show totally everything he's just said is bullshit. And that already then will invalidate anything else he brings up in the debate, because it will show the guy's making shit up. Then he's lost. But that's just me. I'm definitely not Jeran. What did you guys do? Silence. Okay.
Sorry. Do what? Do what? So I was there and I was there looking at chat. Then do what? Sorry.
It's because in air, when a car's going by you or a siren's going by you, right? The sound compresses and it stretches. But in space, there's nothing to do that to. So they treat it the same way. They treat light like it compresses and stretches, but it doesn't. The speed of light would be the same in space all the time. So I mean, right there is your problem with Edwin Hubble saying that the universe is expanding. And he also said that he had to stay away from the absolute horror of a unique position, meaning that he had to stay away from the Earth being at the center, even though he said it can't be disproven. It can't be shown to be incorrect observationally, but he said, but we have to avoid it at all costs. So that's why they went with the expanding universe, and it's, everything's on a balloon and we're all being blown up. So basically our entire science is just based off of some guys who really didn't want the Earth to be at the center. And
that's actually true. Jeran, I have to give him to that. That's a true statement. It is just based off of they need it not to be the center, and they need it to be pushing that. But the one thing is missing on that point is, even though they don't want to be geocentric, they still believed it to be a globe. You know what I mean? Just because geocentric doesn't mean flat Earth. Geocentrism still, in some beliefs, makes it a globe in space.
Observationally, it is in the center. So let me ask you one thing, though. You talked about Copernicus. Did you get told the story that Copernicus submitted this book on his deathbed?
No, I've read Copernicus's works. He's a very serious. I don't remember what I was taught about this stuff. I'm autodidactic. I've in my adult life decided to take these topics on and understand the sciences. Now I've spent more time with Kepler and Newton, to be honest, and Copernicus predates them, but he overlaps with Kepler a little bit.
Well, at least he was honest enough to say he doesn't really know.
Let me address one thing though, Jeran, because you make a good point.
I don't remember.
And it's that we've arrived at a Big Bang cosmology because of a certain observation for which we had no viable.
No, you arrived at a Big Bang cosmology because you had a Jesuit priest named George Lemaitre that came and postulated for you guys about a Big Bang. Because you guys require something to come from nothing. Hence the Big Bang. Yeah. Literally throwing God away so you can have nature create itself. That's what the Big Bang's all about. And yes, guys, I'm going to say it again. I've said it many times. The Big Bang violates the first law of thermodynamics. Nature cannot create itself. You cannot just have an infinite dense hydrogen gas in nothing just there, and then all of a sudden it's so dense it collapses on itself and creates the universe. That by definition violates the first law of thermodynamics. Cannot create itself. You cannot have energy create or destroy. It can only be transformed or transferred straight.
Or for which we had no decent alternative explanations at the time that this redshift was observed. And so, hey, it looks like things are speeding. There's a recessional velocity. And so everything's moving apart from each other. It must be the case. Therefore, there had to be a starting point.
No. Oh, wow. You see, this is one thing they have an issue again. They take what they see, redshift and blue shift, and then they believe things are moving away from each other, from everything. Everything's expanding outward, so there has to be an original starting point. But they're basing all of this on it moving away. I mean, you can take, for instance, light and just have light passing through each other, and it looks like it's moving closer or further away from each other. It doesn't physically make it expanding outwards. It's just an optical illusion. But their bias is already based on, well, we've had an original point and it is pushing outwards. So therefore, yeah. Big Bang? Even the Big Bang is being shown wrong at the moment, guys. Quantum physics is totally breaking everything down. They don't like it. Quantum mechanics is literally, in my opinion, starting to break the heliocentric model down.
I find that interesting that he's using that Big Bang model, redshift, having started his pre-apologetics to Jeran saying, yeah, and if you get to the Big Bang, I'm going to have problems with that myself. But then part of his support is redshift, which you've described, so I won't repeat. But
yeah, it's
contradictory.
Yeah. But I mean, I've heard this also they say before. I like using this as an example. What happens when you have a Claymore mine exploding? It just goes outwards. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you have anything coalescing to each other while it's exploding outwards there? No. But they would expect it to coalesce to each other while it's just going away. But the whole point of the Claymore mine is you got actual energy being put into the system for it to happen. You got actual substance matter there. Their Big Bang, there wasn't anything. It just all of a sudden from nothing, they had very dense hydrogen gas in the middle of nothing, which decided to just expand.
Yeah, nothing exploded and became something and expanded and then came together and made matter somehow.
I mean, expand into what? You first need something to expand into. It's everything about it's idiotic.
Well, I have.
There must have been a tremendous explosion.
Couple of thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, they say the Big Bang explosion. Well, I just assume that if God is there in the void, in the darkness, and he says, let there be light, well, I assume that creating that amount of light would be a pretty event, right? I mean, that'd be pretty crazy to just, like, that would be your Big Bang, is God creating light at that moment, right? And then what happens with light? When it's projected, it expands.
Yeah, solar
and what are
luminescence.
we all made of? Light. What's everything made of? Compressed and light. I just think they do the Big Bang because they literally try to hide. They hide the fact that, oh, God made the explosion of light, and that's when the hiding starts. They hide it right from the very first sentence. Oh, a Big Bang. You're hiding a key part of that information. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, when we asked them about the Big Bang origins,
if anybody,
okay, where did the hydrogen gas come from?
God creating light is a super explosive event.
Yeah, but I mean, when we asked them, okay, but when we asked them, where did this super dense hydrogen gas come from? Oh no, we don't know. Well, then how can you claim it if you don't even know?
Right, and that's why they hide. That's how they hide it. They say, "Well, I don't know."
Okay.
And so there's a kind of there's a belief system that went into the standard cosmology of the present day. You're right, that is being challenged. I agree with you in that. I think it's there are other explanations for that. I think plasma cosmology, plasma physics, has a much larger role to play in understanding the universe. I think electromagnetism does, quite frankly. And to your point,
what do you say about electromagnetism?
Don't know, but every Ethereum now kind of gives this guy credibility, don't they?
Exactly. That's why they're smiling from ear to ear. Yeah. Maybe that's why they got him on the show. Sorry, just to kill a spider on my arm quickly.
Yeah, Michael Kahn, big bands, what a stupid notion. I've always said that. It's not even a good idea. It's not even a good concept. It's rubbish. It doesn't work.
Yeah. I want to know how is he going to appropriate this electromagnetics now into his globe, though.
You see, there were forces in the ancient world that they didn't have our modern vernacular to describe things for us as a modern person. So they used words like fire or light, for example. We use words like electromagnetism. We had talked about plasma. We have a whole vernacular that would have been unfamiliar to the ancient man. But
what is light, Matthew? What is light exactly? Yeah, you see, you can have plasma and you can have electromagnetism and all that. That is just a byproduct of light, you could say, but that doesn't make what light is.
Couldn't tell you what it is, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, because someone observes light doesn't make you know what it is.
No.
Yeah, but Matthew's given the apologetics that it may be a perturbation of the manifestation within ether.
He's an etherite. So he's probably maybe that's what he's whistleblowing on, guys. There's an ether and they're trying to hide the ether.
I still don't understand that. Still don't understand ether. I don't understand. I just don't get it.
Well, the ether keeps changing. Nobody ever knows what it is. One day it's a medium that lets things perturbate through it. One day it's nothing. The one day then it's electromagnetic. The one day it's just air.
It's everything and nothing all at once.
Exactly.
It's everything it needs to be at that moment.
It's what it is when it needs to be for the argument.
I dig that.
The bottom line is we've got emerging paradigms right now that are trying to explain the various anomalies in the standard cosmology that have been so apparent for the past couple of decades. I think that modern physics, especially theoretical physics, it's kind of a garbage bin, frankly. But even the standard cosmological model is on its way out the door, and they sense that. And so there are purveyors of the standard cosmology who are...
Why does this guy not sound like a Globy to me all of a sudden?
He sounds like he's reading from a damn paper.
He sounds like a Witsit guy. You know what I mean? Like he's reading a script from Witsit. If you're a Globe believer, then why are you trying to throw it under the bus now, mate?
If you know it so well, why are you reading from the script?
He's going the long way around.
He asked Chat GPT for a script.
Wow.
We're very interested, just like a religious priest is interested in retaining every...
Sorry?
Does his script have a point? Yeah? Is this not a debate? Or is this
it's supposed to be a debate? It was supposed to be a debate.
What are they debating?
It's supposed to be between flat and globe.
I don't know. I've yet to hear any arguments on either side of.
Yeah, I'm still kind of hard that it's not satire, right?
Let's just quickly
every argument they can to fill the gaps that are appearing in their model. So they have to invent dark energy. They have to invent dark matter. They invent a Big Bang. All of that's on its way out the door, in fact. And any honest scientist is telling you about that.
Yeah, then it's not science.
Exactly.
But I think that's where we're going to end it tonight, though. We can do part 2 tomorrow night.
Maybe they just trolled the whole video.
Yeah,
maybe they just trolled the whole video and said, hey, let's put out a script so that, the other side can be like, oh, look at them, talking about both sides. Who knows, man? At this point, I think that's the way the world is starting to work.
It's like he's on the fence, isn't it? But leaning slightly to one side.
Yeah, but he was like fighting now for a flat Earth. Like the globe is like failing all of a sudden.
Well, he's
know
got
what
to
I
get
mean?
you on his side for at least a little bit. He can't have
Yeah,
you
at
hating
least
him the
seen
whole
that.
time.
But that's why I still think I don't know if the guy's really genuine or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this one.
I think that's the point. I think that's the point where he wants, where it's so on the fence where it's almost as if it's a way to get you to watch more of his videos to see if he's going to go towards the one side on his next one or whatever.
Yeah, it's really
Psychologically, I mean, that's out from left field, but hey, anybody can play the psyche game with a human brain. Shit, if you can get all those people to take those shots, my natural instinct is hell. What else can I get them to do? Shit. Work for me, humans. Work for me. I'm kidding. I would never enslave a human. That's wrong and
Not more than
unless they wanted to be. But that's really not my time or place.
No, it's the morality lies wavering after two slaves. After two slaves, then you know what I mean. It's a bit greedy.
I mean,
what?
I'm joking.
It went dark. God is shaking his head. Oh.
Yeah. So any closing statements, guys? I think we'll do part 2 tomorrow night then.
Yeah.
See what else is interesting thing. Maybe he says something profound. I don't know.
I'm just not sure if it's not satire or not. I mean, it still seems like it's a bit satirical, a bit of comedy. I don't know. Let's wait and see. I'm not sure.
I'd like to follow the money trail and find out who's paying these people.
And he sounds more like a flat earther than a glober, but
Aaron, no, not all flat earthers are religious. Actually, they're not religious. It's faith, not religion.
Yeah, that's one thing I think people should realize, that you even get still atheist flat earthers.
Yeah, you do.
So obviously there's more
religious. Like, well, Christianity is not. I'm not religious at all.
No.
I'm Christian. I'm not religious. I have faith. Yeah, I have faith.
But you see, that's the thing. I think that's really people have been mislabeling Christianity. You know what I mean? Because they're making it into religion, because they think Christianity is somehow part of like Catholicism, which is a religion. You know what I mean?
We're all getting looped into this.
Getting roped into it. But Christianity in itself is not a religion. Christianity in itself is a way of life. It's simply just
God.
Yeah.
Relationship, isn't it?
Well, technically, Christianity just means that you believe that Christ was physically born in this world and died for your sins. That's what Christianity really means.
And you have a personal relationship. That's about it.
Christian means to be Christ-like, so you're trying to be Christ-like.
I'll admit, I do a very bad job of it, but I'm still trying.
Of course, that's what you're aiming for.
Human. You're still human.
You'll never.
But yeah, guys, want to say?
I got one question for everybody. Sorry, just one last question to people. If God or Jesus comes back, right, and he says, I need one person to come with me from the human race, and everything will go back to happiness and rainbows. Would you go? Would you go for the human race?
I would.
That's not gonna happen. What the Bible says.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. It's hard. You can't answer that since we know what Revelation that says. It's not going to go that way. So it's hard to.
If I thought that I could sacrifice myself to save people, I would. Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it would have to be worth it. I'd have to know it was true, but yeah, I think I would.
Right.
I mean, at this point, I'm 50. I mean, what have I got left? You know. I mean,
I'll say, no. I'm not going to. You didn't give me a Lamborghini. I'm just joking.
Don't buy that.
You see, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say because the Bible's very specific on when he comes back. So, and that's not God's character. You know what I mean?
St. Aaron's absolutely right about religious leaders, though. I mean, Christianity is not religion, but religious leaders do live a life of wealth and stuff like that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, the point of the question was of Revelations, when I guess, Jesus takes you up into the clouds and he asks you if you want to go with him or not, right? That's what we're going with, right?
No, if you're up in the clouds, you're going with him. He didn't ask you then.
Well,
you're going with him if you're up in the clouds.
I'm going
to take you, ask you, do you want to come with me? If you're up with him, you're going with him. You've already decided.
The Bible explains it as the bride going up. So think about it. If you have a wedding and you have a bride, the bride's going to walk down to the aisle to meet up with the groom. That's it. Yeah. Jesus is coming down on the clouds to meet his bride. We're going to go up to meet him at the clouds.
Yeah. In life, we've already decided to go with him.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end the show here. I can say thank you guys all for coming. Really appreciate you all. It was a good show. This was part 1. We'll definitely do part 2 tomorrow night. I want to say thank you for everybody. Thank you for James for your super chat. Thank you for everybody who hit the likes, the shows, and all the members and Patreon supporters. You guys rock. I'll see you all tomorrow evening with a part 2. And just to round it off, we'll play some entropy again. Blessings.
One of these bulbs, some bromine, and in the other, I have a vacuum. And if I open the tap between these two, you will see spontaneously the bromine rush from one to the other. Now that is the simplest change we can have, perhaps, because all that happens is a change in entropy. In this case, the expansion into a vacuum, nothing else is involved. There's no energy change, there's no temperature change, there's no change except entropy. So